Well, hello, everybody. Good evening. This is Cleta the Cheetah, Cleta Colson-Eyre. It is February the 6th, 2021. And I'm so happy to be on here tonight to introduce you to week number 5 of our Boss Babe Call. This is the Boss Babe Call that we've been doing, the true original Boss Babe, which was who? Mary Kay Ash. And so our lessons have been coming from her. And tonight is a very special one. It is on determination. Determination changes things. And so I'm so excited to just tell you a little bit about this. Again, I want to just shout out to Karen Riddle, my future national sales director friend, who came up with this series and did the workbook and some things like that. It's really been such a blessing to all of us. And so anyway, happy February. This is the first Boss Babe Call in February. I'm sure all of you by now know about the new lipsticks and the new Clinical Solutions products and our new little hand creams and mini masking minis. And so just so many fun things to think about that will be available to order for the consultants either on February 10th or February the 15th. And so you're going to love every single bit of it. Every single bit of it. And so I have one of the new lipsticks on today, as a matter of fact. And so I'm going to share the screen with you. And we're going to go from there. Okay, so determination changes things. And of course, it's a picture of our beautiful Mary Kay Ash. And most of you know that I was so fortunate to have been in the company long enough to get to meet Mary Kay. And I became a sales director in 1989. And so I got to meet her in 1989 when I went to Dallas to our director training week. It was such a thrill to actually, I'd seen her, but not sat down by her. You know what I mean? I actually got to meet her. And so she was a wonderful woman. And so I'm just so thankful because Mary Kay passed away in 2001. So I got several years to be with Mary Kay, 89 to 2001, like 11, 12 years of being, being mentored by Mary Kay and trained by Mary Kay through her words, through her books, and through her teachings. And so, you guys, she was quite a woman. So let's get into the first thing. So determination, we always like to kind of define it. Determination is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. How many times have you wanted to do something, and then when it came down to doing the grunt work, the things that you don't really love doing, like in Mary Kay, maybe making the booking calls, following up, things like that, but you do it anyway. That's when determination is kicked in. It's not always fun to do what needs to be done to reach a goal or to do your work with excellence, but it is always worth it. It's always worth it. Determination and commitment go hand in hand. Okay, so this is something I found that I thought was so good, and it just takes the letters of determination. Okay, so I just love the way this, and I don't even know who to give credit to on this, but let's just do it. So drive and fly ahead of all. Each time, try not to fall. Take challenging strides, emerge stronger from any failure. Reach out for others. Make sure every stone is turned up. Initiate steps towards success. Never remain fallen to the ground. Always see beyond the visible. Travel distances daring to the common. Involve yourself in no dishonesty. Overcome disenchantment by smiling, and never tremble before the unexpected. And then on the right, you can see all kind of other things that determination brings about, and that go hand in hand with determination: a positive attitude, leadership, success, work, strategy, aspiration, innovation, research, people, leader, together, network, motivation. There's so many things like that. And so what I want to do is let me go back. I want to read a little bit about Mary Kay Ash. So I want to read you just a little bit about her. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but if you have the workbook, it talks about reading from her autobiography at Miracles Happen about some of the obstacles that got in Mary Kay Ash's way when she tried to start the company. And yet she was determined. She was very determined to make it happen. So I'm going to start with just a couple of pages on this and read them to you. So I'm going to start. If you have the book, it's on page 31, and I'm going to start down at the bottom. It says, she was talking about how when she had her plan of how much she wanted to pay people, like the commission she wanted to pay these women that were in the company, and that she wanted to do cash only where they couldn't write checks. It was, cash. And even now today, it was cash check or a credit card. It wasn't like write a personal check and see what happens. Because y'all know how that, I don't know if it has as much as people used to float checks, right? So she wanted to deal in cash. And so a lot of her, it says, most financial experts marvel at our system. It's unheard of in a company of our size. In fact, when I began the company, my accountant looked at my plans for inventory distribution and my high commission schedule and said, there's no way, Mary Kay, you can't demand cash and then pay this many cents out of every dollar you make. You can't operate like that. It just won't work. Have you ever been told that something just won't work? But my son and new business partner had worked out every detail. Richard said it would work, and I knew that it would. So then she said, my accountant was not the only disbeliever. Many well-intentioned people, including my attorney, assured me my company would fail. After all, who had ever heard of a company based on the golden rule? My attorney even went so far to send to Washington, D.C. for a pamphlet detailing many cosmetic companies were going broke each year. Over and over, people said to me, Mary Kay, you're dreaming. Yes, I was dreaming, and that's how it all started. But when I look back at what has happened to this company, I'm convinced that was more than the dream of one woman. I believe that long before I sat down to write my training guide and develop my dream, God in his infinite wisdom had a plan. His plan was to use my dream company as a vehicle for women all over the world. And instead of a tightly closed corporate door bearing the sign for men only, our company has an open portal that bears the invitation, everyone welcome, especially women. Okay, and then in this other book that we have been referring to a lot, which is called Pass It On, What I Learned from Mary Kay Ash by Jennifer Cook, who was one of her assistants for many, many, many years. We're going to refer to, on page 8, I'm not going to read all of this either, but I'm going to read just a little bit of it, okay? These are a couple of more obstacles that she's overcome. Okay, it says starting this company took a big leap of faith for Mary Kay. In the 50s and 60s, women were not welcome in the executive suite or the boardroom. But she knew many smart and talented women who she believed could achieve great things if given the opportunity. She wanted to give them chances for success that she had been denied. She also wanted to develop a company based on the golden rule philosophy, something unheard of in this era. She immediately faced obstacles, and the first biggest of which being the death of her second husband, who died of a heart attack at the breakfast table just 1 month before the company opened. Mary Kay had only recently remarried, and her new husband had handed all of the financial and administrative portion of the business because she was the expert at sales and marketing. When Mary Kay sought professional help advice on how to proceed after this tragedy, most experts discouraged her from continuing her venture. Her attorney advised her of how many cosmetic companies go broke every year. Her accountant told her she would never make any money with the commission schedule that she proposed. The president of another company told Mary Kay she might as well sell him the cosmetic formula because she was going to go broke within months. Fortunately, Mary Kay's children believed in her. Her son, Richard, who was 20 years old at the time, took a substantial pay cut to help her start her business and became the co-founder and business partner and administrator. Ben, Mary Kay's second son, gave the money in his savings account and later joined the business, and her daughter, Marilyn, became the first sales director. Beauty by Mary Kay opened the doors on Friday, September the 13th, 1963. Mary Kay chose this historically unlucky day for a very simple reason. It's the day their lease began. And she said she didn't want to waste time or money in getting the business up and running. And then it goes on, it tells about how she publicized it with an ad in Dallas, and that her son, Richard, her 20-year-old, thought it'd be a great idea to have, they're going to have a grand opening and to have a bikini-clad model passing out champagne at the door to get a crowd. And she said she didn't think it was a very good idea, but she went with it. And the result was the grand opening drew more men than women. Therefore, it did not attract Mary Kay's clientele. And then, of course, she started at the beginning to sell wigs. The wigs were $100 and $300. And then later she dropped the wigs after just 2 years. And then their business just went up after they dropped it. And then it goes on. There's so many stories in here that I'm not going to go over everything. But one of the things that I wanted to tell you, let me look right here, that I thought was so good. Just another little obstacle. She'd had a lot of interviews, and that really, like, one of the interviews she had was with 60 Minutes. And in 60 Minutes, they wanted to interview her. And typically, they kind of do a negative spin on companies. And you'll know that if you watch any of it. But they said that he wanted to come on Memorial Day. And she said, look, the office is closed. And so she ended up having him come to her house. Well, she said she got in a cleaning frenzy and she started painting the baseboards. And you know how, right? And that someone spilled a bucket of paint in there. And so I think it was Mel Asher, her third husband. Anyway, and she said it was a sticky mess. So they ended up coming over, and then all of a sudden she started hearing something in the kitchen, and the ice maker had started leaking, and water was coming all out in the refrigerator. And so this is all happening while the guy from 60 Minutes is there to interview her. So she said, excuse me, I have an emergency. So she calls the plumber. He says he can't come on a holiday. And then it said the 60 Minute producer took the phone out of Mary Kay's hand and explained to the plumber she was with 60 Minutes at Mary Kay Ash's house, filming the interview. If he didn't come over immediately, they would do an expose on him. And needless to say, he arrived soon. And one of the things that he said, Morley Safer asked Mary Kay if she was using God, and I if you can look up the interview on 60 Minutes on YouTube even, and without hesitation, she said, I hope not. I sincerely hope not. I hope he is using me instead. And this instantly, when this came out, it kind of made Mary Kay Cosmetics famous overnight in the United States. And that was just the beginning. She'd had several other interviews. One of them is when she was on the cover of a magazine. And let me see, it is hang on, I had all this marked, but I thought it's just too much to read. But anyway, it was a beautiful magazine cover that she did. Y'all can read y'all can read it in here. Well, hang on, I got to tell you, because it's so good. Anyway, they went and ended up doing her makeup when she they wanted to fly her to do her makeup. Here it is, the Saturday Evening Post. I cannot believe it. Couldn't remember that. So they wanted to interview her, and they wanted her to be on the cover of Saturday Evening Post. And so she agreed, and they flew Mary Kay to New York City to be photographed by a celebrity photographer, and makeup artist John Richardson did her color cosmetics, and she said she took copious notes. This trip, I didn't know this, marked the glamming of Mary Kay. She returned to Dallas a cosmetic queen. And the photos from the magazine cover story became iconic portraits of her at the company headquarters. And of course, she's had some other things happen to her too. They end up doing a movie. I don't know if y'all saw this back in 2002 called Hell on Heels, The Battle of Mary Kay. And it did not depict Mary Kay in like a good light. And there was a lot of stuff in there that was not even like true. Well, most of it. But you know what? Even after that, she still, 5 years afterwards, she still was named the salesman of the century in Texas Monthly. So she just overcome things that were thrown at her, like a negative movie like that, And so it's amazing. Mary Kay really has been through so many things. And so she's overcome a ton of obstacles. She really has. And so in our book, it says describe Mary Kay's determination to start her company. And you guys can put that in the chat. What do you feel like was some of the things that her determination? When I think of Mary Kay, she's someone that was not going to quit. I mean, like, she decided, I'm doing it. I don't care what anybody says. I'm doing it. And you cannot stop a determined woman, right? Or a determined man, probably. And then, in the workbook, it says, how would you and your life look today if Mary Kay had not been determined and committed to open the doors to the company back in 1963? And I just thought about myself. And, I had graduated with college with a computer degree. And so I was working at Harding University in Arkansas, and that's where I started right after college, started Mary Kay. But my plan was to come back to Georgia. And so I ended up coming back to Georgia where I'm from, and I worked for my dad at Colson Printing Company. And more than likely, that's what I'd be doing. I'd be working as the computer manager at Colson Printing Company. But the saddest thing, that's not so terrible working for your father, right? But the saddest thing is all of the closest friends that I have, it would be delete, 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 delete. 36 years of friendships, delete, poof. And you guys, it almost can make you cry when you think about that. I mean, all the great friends I have made through this business, not counting other things like trips and, all the perks, right? But the friendships and the relationships. I mean, if Mary Kay had not pressed through, I would not have got to experience all that, nor would you if you were in Mary Kay. And so I'm so thankful Mary Kay pressed on. I'm so thankful she didn't listen to somebody that said, you can't do it, and sold the formula to some guy. I'm so thankful that she was determined and she persevered. And so another part in this book, Pass It On, was called Persevere Despite Obstacles. And it's on page 50 and 52. It's just a really short read. And I want to read this little short read to you. It says, Mary Kay stressed the importance of overcoming obstacles and perseverance during difficult times. She would encourage others to find a way or make a way. She would say often, and I heard her say this so often, we fell forward to success. She told people if they ever were going to compare knees, hers would be the bloodiest because she had fallen and gotten up and started over so many times. There wasn't a single obstacle in the company. A single obstacle women in the company encountered that Mary Kay hadn't personally experienced. So listen to this: abandonment by a husband and divorce, single motherhood, serious illness, the death of a husband and a child, career disappointments, and obstacles. She had gone through it all. No matter what happened, though, she refused to give in or give up because of these experiences. Mary Kay related to women and they related to her. Her ability to work through obstacles inspired others to do the same. Nan Stroud, who's a national sales director, her daughter Kelly had a considerable education challenges, and several schools advised Nan to remove Kathy from school. When Nan confided her problem to Mary Kay, she insisted that Nan keep looking for answers. After following this advice, a school psychologist found a test that helped identify the right school for Kathy. Today, Kathy, Nan's daughter, is thriving, and Nan credits Mary Kay with convincing her to keep advocating for her daughter. At times, Mary Kay's perseverance bordered on stubbornness. And she would tell this too, but there's this story that they wrote in this book that I had not heard of. It said when the company moved from the Gold Building into a new headquarters, the husband of a Mary Kay employee captured a picture of a rainbow over the roof of the building from which the company was moving. Mary Kay believed the company had indeed been a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow for those who had found success and personal growth and fulfillment in their Mary Kay career. So she incorporated the picture into her seminar speech and asked the photo to be printed on postcards to be sold at seminar with the proceeds donated to cancer research. However, some staff members felt the pictures were not professional enough to be used at seminar, so they didn't print it. Can you imagine, like, Mary Kay telling you to do something and you didn't do it? When Mary Kay found out, she was undaunted. She continued right on with her speech as she had written it, telling the attendees about the postcards they could purchase. That evening, the printers worked overtime on the rainbow postcards, which were a big success. I just think of that. I'm like, don't be telling Mary Kay no. She put you on the spot there. And so you think about that. Mary Kay did indeed overcome a lot of obstacles in her Mary Kay business. And, that fell forward to success. She would say that so many times, and it really released you. So then when you did fail, and Mary Kay, when you fail, what is a failure, Mary Kay? It'd be like if someone told you no. You booked a party, are you trying to book, and you ask this girl and then she says no, right? Or you book a party and nobody shows up. Or you do the party with a bunch of people there and you don't sell anything, right? Or you sign up a new team member and then she quits. There's a lot of ways that you could fail, but Mary Kay said you fell forward. So you learn, you look back and go, okay, how could I change this? What could I do better? What did I learn from this? And that's what she just taught us to do over and over again. So we knew that if we kept failing and learning, that we would eventually get it, right? So I really love that. So the question is, what areas do you feel like you need to be more determined in your business? And what difference would your increased determination make if you followed through on this commitment? So you just think about some of these little things that we just talked about that you can kind of get nosy and it kind of wants to make you quit or take a break or maybe think this isn't working for me or I'm not cut out for this, right? I mean, my first party was $23.50. And I'm telling you, I was prepared and did a great job in my mind. But I had booked 8 parties. And so I knew I could not quit because of a flub of the first one. So I had to do the second one because I already booked them, right? And that's why they tell you to book 8 and hold 5 in your first 2 weeks to get over the jitters and just get that first one in. Mary Kay used to say, that is your training class. Just go, don't worry about the sales. I mean, just go and have a good time and learn. And it's like your practice parties. And if you sell something, great. And if you don't, you're just practicing for the time you're going to sell. And so, that's one of the things that you got to think of. Just keep going and keep going, even if you miss a goal. If you miss a goal, that does not mean you weren't meant to have the goal. It just means you have to reset it, right? And I just did a timeline because my Mary Kay anniversary as a sales director, 33 years on February 1st. And I just did a timeline of 33 years. And some different marks that I hit. And then there was one that I thought I can't put 16 marks and nothing happened. So like our unit did like 250,000, 350,000, $500,000 in retail sales. And we were honored at seminar. And so then of course the next one you would think would have been like the top director trip and keep on going, right? But you guys, it was like 16 years of just 300,000, 400, 450, 300,000, 400, 450. I mean, like never to go past $500,000 again for 16 years. And Mary Kay, you get these diamond bar pins when you earn that. When you get to a level, but to get a new diamond bar pin that has the number on it, you have to increase. So I had my 18-year-old pin on, and finally we did 550,000. And then we did 7. And then we start winning the top director trips. But you know what? There's ups and downs, but so thankful I did not quit on the years that I was just I was hanging in there and I was performing at a level. It wasn't the highest level that I could do, but I had a lot of life in between there too, right? That I will not go over all that today. But just looking back at a 36-year career, I'm so thankful that the times that I was low, I did not quit. And then I just put one more party and just did one more facial, So I want you to think about your business, think about where you are on this and think about, okay, I'm not going to quit. So I want to share just a couple of more slides with you. This is on perseverance. So I looked up the meaning of this, and this is a steady persistence in the course of action, a purpose, a state, especially in spite of difficulties, obstacles, or discouragement. The quality that allows someone to continue trying to do something even though it's hard. Perseverance is not for the faint of heart. And so this is a little, I love this. It says, don't quit, or if you mark out the NT and the Q, do it. Do it, don't quit. And Mary Kay Ash used to say the only way you can fail is to quit. That's it. So as long as you don't quit, you have not failed. So you just can't quit. And it took, most people have that time in their Mary Kay business when they realize I'm in it for life. So it really doesn't matter what happens today. I'm not quitting, right? I'm not quitting. So, it may not be the perfect party, but I'm not going to quit because of it. And once you get to that point where you're not flip-flopping around thinking, maybe I'll quit, maybe I'll do something else. Once you get to the point where you're in it, I say it's a lifer, you're in it to win it, right? And it doesn't matter the little dips in your careers, you're still going to keep going. You'll have a lot more peace. And then well, that's just one that wasn't as good as I wanted it to be, but I'll go ahead and book another one. And of course, you can see on the word perseverance, there's a lot of words that are awesome, great, hard, important, success, work, endurance. I like that one. Endurance, working, growing, achieve, dedication. And so these two things together, determination and perseverance, are something that goes key to key, hand in hand, and for your success in your business and really in anything you do. So I want to share the Bible verse for the week. It is your belief verse. We're trying to build belief, remember? And this verse is, if you believe, you will receive whatever you ask for in prayer. Matthew 21:22. That's a great one to remember, is it not? And so I want to remind you of the 9-week goal that we have started. And you actually have a little extra week in there, right? It's a 10, at least 6 of the 9 Boss Babe calls, and accomplish at least 3 of the 4 goals. Be a Powered by Pink Achiever in January with a 600. Be a Powered by Achiever in February with a 600 or more. Pamper at least 30 women from January 1st to February 28th. And add at least 1 new team member. Okay, so that's the goal. Now we are on week number 5. So we'll have, let's see, 6, 7, 8. Week number 9 actually is going to be the first, it's going to be a month from now, the first Sunday in March. So we're going to, that's when we'll actually end it. But I cannot wait to see who all the winners are. So what you want to do tonight is you want to look at some things where maybe you need to be more determined. Okay. And some of that is even just little things like getting a guest to the meeting, and getting a booking, setting up an interview and things like that. Just if maybe you feel like you've asked everybody, well, you really haven't. I mean, everybody would be every single person in the United States of America, in the world, right? And you certainly have not. So really write down all the people you have actually asked, not we're going to some people do shotgun where you just throw it out there. And that's when you have, like, on your customer group, you're like, anybody want to book with me? Okay. That's a shotgun. And then, but you've got to get bullseye by actually messaging people individually and asking them if they would like to book, or inviting them to have a pampering session, or asking them if you could send them a goodie bag of samples. Okay. So you it's okay to do the shotgun every now and then on your private customer group page, but I've not found too many times, even me, okay, that says, hey, I'm looking for new team members. Anybody interested, let me know. It just really doesn't work that way, but it's okay to generate some interest, but then you want to hand select people. You really do. So you want to write down 3 to 5 specific things you'll do this week to build your business and build your belief. All right. And write them down, go back and look. And then don't forget to fill out your weekly accomplishment sheet. I know with my unit, I'm really going to start pushing this. And there's one on paper, but you can just go to intouch.com and marykintouch.com, and you can look under the second column. It says business tools, go down all the way to the bottom, and it says online weekly accomplishment sheets. And you can fill them out right there. And guess what? If you put in all your orders on InTouch, like on your My Customers app or My Customers on InTouch, either way, they show up there. And then you can just submit them. You work on it all week long, or you can manually in them if you don't do it that way, and then submit it to your sales director. So if you're in my unit, that's what I want you to do. I want you to do that tonight or in the morning. I want you to pull up this week, and I want you to look in and see if it's all on there. If not, you can add whatever orders you need to, and then you keep going next. There's about 6 little pages that you go next through, and then the last one said submit summary sheet to director. I want you to do it, and I want you to text me and say, hey, I submitted my weekly accomplishment sheet. Okay. So, and then of course the 6 most important things you're going to do every night before you go to bed. All right, you guys, thank you so much. I know if you're on YouTube, I did this a little early. So hopefully you can catch it and realize it is the Sunday night Boss Babe call. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if there's any gentlemen, thank you for